What's up, guys? This is the Too Young Podcast. It's your host, Cody, here. And today, I'll be going over my 3 winners and my 3 losers from the first round of the 2024 NFL Draft. So in today's episode, guys, I just want to cover the 3 teams that I think killed the draft, the 3 teams that I think kind of blew this draft, as well as the last team that I think kind of did both. But today, I want to start with the Denver Broncos, as I think that they kind of failed in the first round at least. Taking Bo Nix, I do know that yes, they do have a need at quarterback. However, Bo Nix is a project quarterback, and once you throw in the fact that they just traded for Zach Wilson, I mean, damn, that's kind of a worse quarterback room than fucking a JV high school team, damn near, you know. I just think that they could have went with a skill position there at number 12 since they traded up. They could have even drafted a defensive lineman, hell, even a interior lineman, or even a receiver, you know, could have got Xavier Worthy. I believe Brian Thomas was still available. I just think that they could have helped Zach Wilson and potentially getting him some weapons to actually throw it to. So I have the Broncos as the number 3 loser. Coming in at number 2, we got the Buffalo Bills. Jesus Christ. So you trade Stephon Diggs to the Texans, right? And yes, I understand. He hasn't been all that in the playoffs for you. But you trade him to the Texans. You basically get no value as of right now from that pick, or from that trade, I should say. And you don't draft a receiver in the first round? Nobody? You just want to trade back? Just always trade back? And on top of that, the team who you cannot beat, the Chiefs, got Xavier Worthy, who you desperately needed. I just think, honestly, I don't know what the fuck they are even thinking up there in Buffalo. I guess they're just hoping that Josh Allen goes God mode next year. I mean, he's going to have to carry that damn offense, because holy shit, they haven't even had a solid running game in the past, hell, since I've been alive, so at least 25 years. But I think the Bills could have really used a weapon for Josh Allen in this draft, and they can possibly get one in the second round, with the guys like Jermaine Burton still on the board. I just wish that they would have drafted a weapon for Josh Allen. And then coming in at number 1, the biggest loser of them all, the biggest kind of head scratcher, I guess you can say, is the Falcons. Yes, they did just sign Kirk Cousins to, I believe it's 3 or 4 years. He is going to get the bag. However, Michael Penix is, I think, 26, 27 right now? 25 or something like that. So, if you allow him to sit and grow with Kirk Cousins and learn from him, I do think that could, lead to something in the future. However, taking a guy that old when you already have Kirk Cousins, kind of like, it is a head scratcher, I will admit. That offense is fucking loaded, though. Excuse me. Hopefully they have a decent coach to actually understand that they have offensive weapons and that they can actually use them to win a game, Hell, maybe even go back to the Super Bowl. But I just think that here they could have drafted a guy like Dallas Turner, who would have been amazing for them off the edge. Or, hell, honestly, even Brian Murphy would have been a good-ass pick here to bolster that defensive line. But I guess we'll just have to wait 4 to 5 years to see how Michael Penix turns out. I mean, I do think he is one of the best quarterbacks in this class. I just don't know if the Falcons is the right place for him, though, if that makes sense. Now, going on to the winners. The first one's kind of easy. Number 3, we got the Bears. Yes, I do think Caleb Williams is going to be a bust. However, they did draft, I should say, Romeo Odunze from Washington, which I did project them to go defense here to get both faces of both sides of the ball, kind of like what the Texans did last year. Uh, However, they said fuck that. They are giving Caleb Williams every chance to be successful in his first year. I will admit that. Hopefully, his nail painting self could not be a bust, but I do think that they now have one of the best wide receiver cores in the whole league. And at number two, I got the Jets. The Jets picked the tackle from Penn State. I think that was a very solid pick, as last year in the first game we saw that their atrocious offensive line kind of fucked their whole season over with the whole Aaron Rodgers injury. And that's another thing. I hate to tell y'all, but Rodgers is almost, 42 now? 43? I don't think he has many good years left, you know? Like, I mean, the Jets' window is kind of, it's kind of closing right now, if not already. That defense, that secondary is still pretty good. Quint Williams still holding down the middle. You got Sauce Gardner back there. The team has some good pieces. I just don't think that they just have the right guy at quarterback right now. I just think Aaron Rodgers is a little bit too old to make that one final push. However, I do think that they did have a good draft pick on taking the tackle from Penn State. As we all know, the most important position is a quarterback. However, the second most important is the O-line and the protection for that quarterback. As we've seen with Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, once those guys get injured, your season's kind of fucked. And I just think that, yes, tackles aren't a sexy pick, but they are mandatory at this level. So I ranked the Jets at number 2 for being the second best winner. Now, this might be a shock pick, but I got the Seahawks on having the best first round so far. I know it's kind of random. They only have one pick, blah, blah, blah. However, I did say that they needed a force on the defensive line. And no, they didn't get a guy like Dallas Turner or that edge rusher from UCLA. But they did get Byron Murphy the second, which I think he is definitely the best defensive lineman in this draft. I do think that he can make a immediate wow, I just had a brain fart. It's all live, by the way, folks. I do think that he can be a force in the middle, and I do think that he can be a great run stopper for that defense. And I think that's what has been missing from Seattle for these past couple of years is the D-line hasn't been as sturdy as it has been once, back in the Legion of Boom days. But I do think that this is a good pick. I think they can definitely beef up the other side of the line on offense in the second to even third round. Might have to find some gems, but I do think they had the best pick in the whole first round. Now, for the team that I mentioned or kind of alluded to earlier, I got the Vikings. I got them both as a winner and a loser. Winning, the winner part of that comes from them picking Dallas Turner. I do think that could be the new face of that defense for a decade to come. However, they did take J.J. McCarthy. As y'all heard from my first podcast, I personally don't see what everybody sees in him. However, they do need a quarterback for the future. Now, I don't think he'll start, game one. However, I do think that he will get some playing time. He'll have some time to learn and to sit on the bench for a little bit. And, I mean, he has weapons, guys. You can talk about Justin Jefferson. They got Addison. I believe they still got T.J. Hawkinson. They got a subpar offensive line. I mean, it's not the best. It's not the worst, though. And really, if they can just find a consistent running game, I think JJ could be successful. I do think that they're gonna have to like ease him into it though, as all rookie quarterbacks must, you know. But I just don't see the upside as most people do in JJ McCarthy, and I just do not see him leading that team to the Super Bowl, which is what every team wants. So that's why I got the Vikings as a team that I think lost, but also won in the same night. Overall, I think that there was quite a few good picks in this draft. Definitely some crazy trades that happened. I also think a team to mention here would also be the Chargers, as I kind of wish that they would have drafted Malik Neighbors at fifth instead of taking Joe Alt. However, I do think that Joe Alt is one of the best, if not the best, lineman in this class, and Justin Herbert needs all the protection he can get. So I still think that was a good, solid pick. But tell me what y'all think in the comments on the teams who you think won, and tell me some picks who you think surprised you a little bit. But as always, I appreciate the listen, and you guys be safe.